All right. We are live. I'm here with the Wolfman, and it's episode 4 of the Film Fiends. And we're kind of breaking format today. Normally we have like a singular movie that we watch, but um, I didn't. I keep meaning to tell you that I didn't manage to track down Miss 45, so we'll probably do that one soon. It's on Shudder,
Okay.
so
Oh, there you
I'll be
go.
able to watch. I just haven't had a chance to watch it because I've been watching many other things.
Everything else. Yeah.
Everything else. Yeah. Stuff that I've seen before. So I don't have to like actually kind of like invest in something new, which hopefully tonight or here in a little bit I'll start watching something new. But um today we're just going to be talking about what we've been watching. So it's not going to be like, but it's just kind of low key episode today. So if we go on long tangents, it's like it's whatever.
Right.
So what have you been watching?
I no, that's fine. I was just gonna say, I just watched for the first. So a while back ago, I won a contest on Facebook, and the contest was to win season 1 and season 2 of The Boys.
Oh, okay.
I've never watched The Boys. I don't have HBO, so
It,
because I don't have HBO, I've never watched Game of Thrones and
I'm
House
the
of Dragon, and I finally watched Game of Thrones as we talked about in the
right.
very first show that we ever did of this. Go back and check that out. But I've never seen The Boys, and so I was like, okay, well, I have this. It's been sitting around the house for like a while, and just kind of like just wanting to watch stuff, and so I put it in. I'm like, okay, I see where they're going with this. Um, my one complaint,
Okay.
right, and I kind of get it. It's like The Boys is about the guys that are trying to take down the superhero people, but I don't feel that there's enough superhero stuff in it. You know,
So
I really do wish like you'd see oh my god, you know, the Superman character
um,
doing more, you know, and
just you wait, okay? Because because me and Ariel, this is our like one of our one shows that we watch together is The Boys,
okay.
and it's on Amazon Prime. That's what. um,
It's on Amazon Prime. That's right. That's right. It's not, yeah. And I don't do that either. So I don't do
uh,
streaming, people.
on this third season was just when Jansen Ackles shows up.
Right.
That's
Soldier Boy.
yeah. Oh, what you were about to say, or what you were saying, like, oh, I wish they were doing more superhero stuff. Oh, just wait. It's like it's gonna be
Okay.
ramped up. Like it's like not superhero stuff like saving people and stuff, but like oh, it's people using their powers in a big bad way in kind of gross ways too. Because I'm reading the comics as well. Um,
Oh, okay.
and so I'm kind of and there's just like there's a lot of stuff that they can't show. Like I don't care. Like
I I get that, but honestly, it's set up for Prime. I mean, it's set up for streaming.
right.
So, in it's kind of like when The Simpsons first came on the air back in the late 80s,
Yeah.
89.
Yeah.
Um,
It's been going as long as I've been alive.
well, yeah, because it was also on the Tracy Ullman show.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it came on the air in '89, and they said straight up that this is not a cartoon for kids. Well, this is not a TV show for kids either. So
Right.
just because it's about superheroes, I mean, honestly, I say let them do what they want. Let the blood flow and the sex fly.
Oh,
Make it as graphic as you want. And if the parents aren't paying attention, screw them, because
there
I
has
mean that's the reason, dude. That's the reason we get PG-13 horror.
yeah.
You know, because the parents don't want to be parents. My mom took me to see The Exorcist when I was 6 years old. I turned out okay.
Yeah, I watched Predator when I watched Predator, and even though Jaws is PG, but
Yeah.
like but it's still like that's an intense movie for.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. In the 70s, when you watched a PG movie, PG meant parental guidance. That means
Yeah,
that the parents
I have the
have the choice to take you to take you to that or not. And PG movies back in the 70s, you saw boobs, you saw tits, you saw ass.
yeah.
You know, R-rated movies saw blood.
Well,
So I mean,
at the very beginning of Jaws, a skinny dipper. It was
a
like
skinny dipper. Yeah. It wasn't until Steven Spielberg got involved and created PG-13 that everything got screwed up.
yeah, like I have purposely avoided horror movies that are PG-13. Like that really like
There
the,
are some good ones, I will say that, but I'm just saying I'm sick of the whole, hey, we got to make sure that we get the young people. Let them sneak into the movie theater like I did.
mhm. Oh, what was it like? Did you ever watch the Escape Rooms movies?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I haven't seen them yet, but
I enjoyed them both.
you enjoy. Oh, so they're good PG-13 ones.
Yeah. I
Okay,
mean, they got a good story. That's the thing. I mean, you can, you know, the first one's got a really good story.
okay,
The second one's a little bit of a rehash of the first one, but it's still fun.
okay, cool. I'll have to check them out then because I've been when I go to Best Buy, they have a double feature. They have like a double
Right.
feature.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I
Yep.
always been up. I'm like, that PG-13 rating kind of deters me more than I think it. Like more often than I think it does. It's like, I'm like, oh man, but or subconsciously, I'm like, oh, it's a PG-13 movie because it happens more times than not that a horror movie is PG-13. And it's like, I have to
Right.
like know
Exactly.
a horror movie that like, oh, that's definitely rated R. Like,
But
uh,
yeah, I read that I read that they held back on the boys because of all the blood and violence and the gore and the sex and the whatever in the comics, and I'm just kind of like, fuck that, dude. It's pay, it's streaming.
right.
It's
I I
you're
think
not putting it on. You're never going to see it on regular TV, so who cares?
yeah, I agree with that. Like there is like um they do get away with, I do have to say they're starting to let them like since they're making money off the show now, they're starting to let them kind of like okay, have some fun. The third season
Right.
has the third season kind of has like a thing called Hero Gasm. It's it, it it's
I can only guess.
it's superhero orgy. That's what it is, and
Yeah.
and it is hilarious. And
Well, in
um,
the first season, they walk into that nightclub and everything that's going on is going on,
right,
right? That little
I
dude
think
about this big runs across the table and jumps into a woman's.
hey, that guy comes back in the first episode for the third season, and he
Uh,
comes big bad way, and I'm gonna just tell you right now, um, it's gonna make you cringe a little bit. Like it's gonna make you like, oh man,
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I've seen some pretty messed up stuff in my lifetime, so
true. Uh,
it's
I think okay. I should take it back. Like, not cringe. Okay, that's kind of I don't like that word, anyways. It shouldn't. It should
like
make it'll make you like, oh my god, like did I just witness that go into that?
okay. I'll give you that. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Okay,
because
I'll
it's
give you
like
that.
I mean in a big budget way, I should say.
Big oh my moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been watching The Boys.
Okay.
Just finished watching the last 3 episodes of The Flash.
Okay.
You
I'm
know, you're
uh,
behind.
yep. I need to watch. Um, they're on the seventh season right now, right?
Oh no, I'm talking about the actual. They're on this year was the last year, and it's the ninth season.
Ninth. Okay, so I'm a couple seasons behind. Oh,
Okay, well, it ended in a good way, but it ended in a bad way.
okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the idea of how they went about it. In fact, one of the storylines for the Flash that never appeared during the show,
Mm-hmm.
but was in the comic books, I always wanted to happen. Now I don't know if you're a big Flash comic book reader.
I know enough, so you can kind of hint at it if you need to.
Well, this isn't really a spoiler. I mean,
Okay.
I'm just saying. I mean, but one of the storylines when I was a kid growing up was that the Barry. Okay, so um, Henry and Nora. The story goes Henry and Nora Allen,
Mm-hmm.
Barry's parents,
Right.
right? Um, Nora's pregnant, and they're driving through like the South, right? And their car breaks down, and Nora goes into labor.
Okay.
So they find a local yokel doctor, Doctor No One from like Mayberry, you know. I mean, seriously, it's a small town like that, right?
Okay.
And the doctor works out of his home, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So they find the local doctor, and he says, "Oh yeah, come on in. I'll take care of everything." Well, at the same time, and I mean, I guess it sounds kind of ridiculous when you talk about it out loud, but the Thon family,
Okay.
who are from like the back bayous of Louisiana, um, uh, Mrs. Thon is pregnant, and they break down in the same town. They have to go see the same doctor at the
Oh.
same time, right?
Okay.
So when the Thon baby is born, it's what do they call that? Stillbirth.
Okay.
It is born dead,
Oh yeah.
you know. But the Allen family has twins.
Oh okay.
Has Barry and another one. And the doctor makes a decision to replace the Thon family's child with one of the Allen kids. And that kid becomes Eddie Thon.
Okay.
And the thing is that the Thon family were like in the comics, they were like sorcerers,
Okay.
and they have this great power. And when Eddie grows up, he doesn't have the power because he's not really a Thon,
Mm.
and he doesn't know it, and but he's the twin brother of Barry Allen. I always wanted this storyline. I always thought this was the coolest storyline ever.
But
You
actually,
know,
that sounds pretty cool. Oh, we got Wes here.
hey Wes, how's it going, man? It's been a while, but yeah,
Right.
that's one of the storylines I've always wanted. Like I said, I just finished up The Flash, The Boys. What else have we been watching? Just a little bit of everything, man. Catching up on movies, catching up on a lot of freaking movies.
So that's what I've been watching. Kind of is superhero related as well. I've been since it's actually we're I habit of looking at my wrist from a watch. We're nearing the last couple of days of March or May. May, and I'm like, you know what? Every May I like to do a Marvel rewatch. I like to start from the beginning and watch all the way through the end.
Right.
I only got a couple episodes left of Loki. And
Yeah, I know. I've already said I don't do streaming, so I haven't watched any of the Disney Plus shows. I've heard of them, and I've heard some were good and some were bad and whatnot. And it's like
the only ones I've watched were the three first ones: Loki, WandaVision, and Falcon and Winter Soldier. Those are the only three that I've watched. I haven't watched. And She-Hulk. She-Hulk's fun. I don't care.
I did hear that. It's kind of on a goofy fun side.
It is because I think Marvel needs to kind of lean. I know we're getting the Deadpool movie, but I think they just need to like embrace some of the goofiness a little bit more, like because and that's what She-Hulk was like. There's this really fun scene in this episode. One of the episodes, like when it's not a spoiler because it's in the trailer. Daredevil shows up and played by the guy who plays him in the Netflix series, and
Okay.
Charlie Cox, and he's in his mustard, his ketchup and mustard
Oh,
outfit,
the yellow and is it
uh-huh.
yellow and black or yellow and red?
Yellow and red.
Okay, yeah, the
Yeah,
original Daredevil
yeah.
suit. Cool.
So they had just um, they have just had a night together, and Daredevil's doing the walk of shame back home in his outfit, and it's just like I like that. That is just
How could there be any shame in nailing the She-Hulk?
so. I'm just like and no, it's just like the way it's just like a big wide shot, and um, Daredevil's just walking, Matt Murdock's just walking, and then somebody's walking next to him, just it's like there was like no dialogue. I don't think there was no music.
Right.
It was just like I like that humor, and then the two have like a kind of like a Gimli Legolas kind of fight contest going on where they're both beating up people and they're just like they're trying to outdo one another, and it's just it's it's done really well.
So, so I have a question. I mean,
Mhm.
I remember when She-Hulk came on the scene in the comics again, um, and I remember that in the comics. So she is Bruce Banner's cousin in the comics,
Right,
and she gets sick, and Bruce donates some of his blood, which still has gamma radiation in it, which causes her to turn green.
right.
Is that what happens here?
So not it. It's they still have so. What happens was Bruce and I think I can't think of her name.
Jennifer.
Jennifer, yes. They were just they're driving, and then a ship comes out of nowhere and kind of attacks the car, and then they spill off onto the side of the road, and Bruce ends up getting cut, and her has some open wounds, and some of his blood drips into her, and
Oh,
then
okay. So it's the AIDS threat,
yeah.
basically.
So yeah, and Bruce is like freaking out, like we have to we like he's running all these tests and everything, and it's seems pretty natural. It just didn't seem like oh and
Right.
with her breaking the fourth wall like she does in the comics and stuff, and it's just like um it's just fun. Oh, we got Alex.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, trash film addict just said hello.
Yeah,
Yeah. Now, can she? So in the comics, she can't control. She's green. That's it. There is no. She's not like Bruce. Bruce can go back to looking all white and pale and everything. In the comics, she's stuck being green.
no, she's she's able to go back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, which is hilarious because that actually comes into play within in the movie, and because the breaking the fourth wall and everything, and they're like, "Well, you're just too expensive, to animate all the time." So it's
Oh
just
my
like,
god.
yeah, like there's some really good jokes in this, and I think all the episodes are written and directed by women, and,
That's
and
cool. That's
yeah,
very, very cool.
so and I think it's just like I there is some kind of like I hate to use this word again, cringy moments, just because it just like some of the humor is definitely not for me, but I
Right.
still enjoy the show overall, and like the whole walk of shame, I think that's more geared towards women and everything, uh but it's just like I but it's just hilarious seeing it flipped. The guy doing the walk of
The
shame.
guy doing the walk of shame, yeah.
Yeah,
Again, though, there's no shame in nailing the
right.
She-Hulk. You know?
And then and there were just some other things like I'm trying to think, but I think one of the it has um some other like, kind of like not major jokes or anything like that. Or I think the one that really got people kind of mad was like Megan Thee Stallion showed up and you got twerking um, She-Hulk and everything. If you actually watched the episode, it was like it's one of those zinger things at the very end. It's like the whole
Yeah.
over, and then all of a sudden you got this little PS, and that's all it was. And people are throwing a big fit. Like if it happened in like randomly in the episode, I'm like, all right, like I can see it, but it was just a quick comedic moment at the very end. It was like it was nothing to get all worked up about. Um,
I never even heard anything about it, to be
oh
honest.
really?
So that's how out of it I.
Yeah, and then I haven't watched Moon Knight or the Hall or Hawkeye. I heard Hawkeye is one of the better ones, so I'm excited to
Moon
get.
Knight looks cool. I always liked Moon Knight in the comics, but again, I'm not doing it, man. I'm not. I already give Disney enough money as it is for their fucking movies. You know, I
Well,
mean,
I went and seen Guardians in theaters and the volume 3, and because I'm like I'm not going to wait for Disney Plus, um, and I was just like, um, because I wanted to see a James Gunn movie, not a Disney movie,
right?
and I'm going to tell you right now, like I'm glad I went because that movie needs to be seen on the big screen. You know, it's like
There's movies that are like that, dude. There,
yeah,
you walk out of a theater and you're like, okay, I could watch this at home, but a 65-inch screen is not going to do it justice.
right.
You know,
I went and seen Ant-Man I was like, this is kind of. I went and seen Ant-Man as well in the theaters, just because I like to just see the Marvel movies, but that particular one, Ant-Man, I'm like I could have waited at home. I could have waited, but I think it would have been just fine on my 65-inch TV down here in the basement, just eating some popcorn. I think that would have been pretty good, but um,
see, I really enjoyed Ant-Man on the big screen. I really did. The thing that bugged me about the original Ant-Man movie was Michael Pena. I
oh,
got to the point where Michael Pena's character could have just been erased. After a while, it's just like jokey, jokey, jokey. I'm like, just as I'm getting into the movie, all of a sudden he comes along and cracks a joke. I'm like, dude, come on, you just ruined the flow for me.
like
We're in a
I didn't mind him having him like a ragtag of like former criminals and stuff like that.
I didn't
But
mind that either.
yeah, but I just like I wished he was a little bit more um subdued. You know, as like over the top. Like who actually talks? Who acts like? I mean, if you look at some of the other side characters, he's really over the top. Compared to some, and he's a good actor. I like Michael Pena. Like,
Oh yeah, I'm with you 100%. It's really weird. It's like Jack Black. I think Jack Black is one of the most awesome actors when you put him in a movie with other really good actors.
right.
Like when you see him like Jumanji with Dwayne Johnson and Catherine Gillian, and you know
Yeah.
they're basically there to subdue and tame Jack Black.
Oh, right.
If Jack Black was the main person in that movie, it would be all Jack Blackiness
Uh,
and him over the top and all goofy and like Nacho Libre. It's like
that
you
is
know,
a Jack Black movie that I do not like, and you know I love my wrestling, and it's like, oh, Jack Black
yeah,
wrestling. I just don't like that movie. I really
dude,
and I what?
watch the Holiday if you haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, with
It's a
Winslet and
Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet, and
I've seen it.
Jack Black is awesome in that movie.
Right? Like he actually
As
he
long as he's tame,
has
you know.
like like um like um when he goes a little bit too far. Like as much as I love him in this movie, he's very. I know he's playing the overtopness of himself in Tropic Thunder. I like how that's when his Jack Blackiness is like good because that's his character because he's trying to be like he is the
Right.
dude and like he's playing himself in a way, um but
But see that's the point that's when it gets to the point where it's like, okay, dude, you're just I mean, after a while, if it's just him in a movie, he's just playing himself, and that's boring. He's not stretching himself as an actor anymore. When you see
like
him with other strong actors like Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet and Karen Gillian and all Kevin Hart,
I
he's
was
he's just he's
uh,
learning, man.
School of Rock, like I think that's his best acted movie, just because it's
Actually,
still him.
I, the movie I remember him from, I mean, before anyone ever saw School of Rock, before School of Rock even existed. Uh, oh my God, I just blanked on it. It's a rollerblading movie.
uh, I was my first
This kid, huh?
my first introduction to Jack Black was the Jackal with Bruce Willis.
Oh wow, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, and that was a remake of 3 days, 30 Days of the Jackal, and I mean, yeah, Richard Gere and Bruce Willis, yeah.
I like I love the Jackal. I like because um because you don't really see Bruce Willis play the bad guy all that often. So I liked
Oh, I
him
know, yeah.
really liked him playing the bad guy. Like, oh man, I don't have to watch that soon now. And I just like how he just mows down Jack Black. I'm like, I'm so sorry. And it's a bad way too. He gets shot. He just gets like
Yeah,
mowed
obliterated.
down. And then I think that like this is all before I knew about Tenacious D and stuff like that. Like, and then
Exactly.
and then even though the Jackal is the one where I like really noticed him, I'm like, oh, like. And then I started watching when I go back and rewatch movies. I'm like, oh, I see him in the sequel to I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and he played the the stoner hippie dude.
Yeah, and he's in Enemy of the State.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he plays
Oh,
one of the
tech
he's
guys.
one of the tech guys in the van. Yeah.
Oh, and then when I found out about Tenacious D, it's when I watched Biodome.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh
Uh,
wow, so he was in that before he was in that. I wish I could remember the name of that roller that it's a really weird movie. It used to be on cable all the time. This kid moves from like he has to move to like Cincinnati, Ohio,
oh
where
yeah.
there's no waves whatsoever. And he's a surfer dude from California, and his parents are going off somewhere, and they can't bring him along, and he's a teenager, and so he moves out to like Cincinnati, Ohio, to live with his aunt, and he's not fitting in, and he's a rollerblader, also. So his rollerblades come, and it turns out that Jack Black is part of a group of guys that kind of pick on him.
Oh,
And in their downtime, they play roller hockey, and Jack Black is the guy that plays the goalie. And
it,
then next thing you know, they're having uh, a rollerblade race throughout the city, and it's actually a really cool movie. It's kind of like Gleam in the Cube, if you've ever seen that.
um, no, I have not seen that. Isn't he in an episode of X Files, one of the early seasons of X Files?
Yep.
Yeah. So okay, that I just looked over there. I was like, what other movies have Jack Black?
He Ryan Reynolds is in an early episode of X Files as Boom Boom.
I just who did I text? Maybe it was you. I'm like, oh, a young Ryan Reynolds is in this episode.
Yeah. So is Seth Green, the one where the one where they're out at the field watching the thing fly up in the sky.
Yeah, that's an early episode.
Yeah. I think that's a
So
season 1 episode, if I remember right.
yes, it is. So yeah,
Yeah.
I just been watching superhero movies because but I would really like to start watching newer stuff. Like I have basically all the streaming services. My
Yeah.
Netflix now. We got hit on that. The whole password thing, but like
Oh.
uh hopefully here soon I'll be watching Dungeons and Dragons, the newer one.
I've
Um
heard nothing but good things about that.
Same. Air and about the Michael Jordan's the
Yeah,
Jordan.
the story of the Michael Jordan shoe. Yeah.
And then what was the other one? I had one more that I was like, I really like. I wanted to sit down and watch it. It was I think it was on Peacock. Um, I cannot remember what it was. It was Inside with William Dafoe, where he's a thief and he breaks
Okay, I
into
don't think
he
I
breaks,
heard of that one.
and he ends up getting stuck. So he's trying to figure out how to get out of this in like unexitable house or apartment. So I'm like, that was the other one.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, I heard it's really good, so that's why I'm probably saving that one for a
I
while.
like Willem Dafoe. Yeah, yeah, he's a good actor.
Uh,
Um,
so yeah, that
Creepy is all shit sometimes though.
what?
Creepy is all shit
Oh,
sometimes though.
like especially in the lighthouse. Like he's pretty like off the wall on that one. Like he like I like him when he's at his like off the wall list. It's just like obviously I like him when he's like actually like delivering like being an actor, but sometimes I like him when he's a little bit more out there. Like I like in the
I
lighthouse one of
I
those
honestly don't think anybody else could have played Norman Osborn
same.
than Willem Dafoe. You know, in
I
in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies.
Right, and I think I don't think there is either. I think he has that perfect like upper New York kind of look to him. Plus, he has that evil grin. He just like he's a
Yeah, yeah,
like everything, and you could believe that he could be something of a scientist.
yeah. So when you were watching all the Marvel movies,
Uh-huh.
I wrote to you on Facebook saying, "Dude, I just picked. I'd not been in a pawn shop in 3 years. It's been because the whole pandemic thing.
Right,
Uh, the pawn shops got farther away. we used to go. We used to go like into a different town. A different place that we usually go now. And there was always like 2 or 3 pawn shops there. So we haven't been going there. I haven't been in a pawn shop in like 3 years. So I walked into this pawn shop and I'm like, okay, a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, let's see what they have. They had the original, the Star Wars. They had the Star Wars original trilogy.
okay,
The one where you can get the slipcase with like Vader on it, right?
okay.
Even though they're the specialized versions. I mean, but I do
Uh,
have the despecialized version though.
once you tell your story, I got a similar Star Wars story.
Okay.
It's one of those things where I'm kicking myself really bad.
I don't kick myself anymore. I basically
I
I've
don't I
basically lived I've lost out on a lot of stuff
yeah,
because I didn't react at the time. So
yeah.
my rule is now is if I see it and I want it, I get it. I don't care. You know.
Well, I didn't. I don't think I didn't have like what was it? What was my purpose? I think it's just because it was still around the VHS era,
Okay.
where VHSs and DVDs were still um, like that transitional period. So I'm like, oh,
Right.
my dad has these on VHS, so I don't need to purchase the. Okay, I'll just tell you real quick. It's that um, it's those DVDs that came out with the both versions of it.
Right. The 1997 the
Yeah,
1997 DVD, and you could have believe me, dude, I wish I had those.
Yeah, and
honestly.
like I know, from what I've heard that the regular version, like the theatrical versions, weren't like in that really good quality or whatever, and it's like has the black bars on the side and everything. Like I don't care. Like I would have I
Right.
could watch
It's in the full
for
frame edition. Yeah.
yeah. But anyways, yeah, that's the one. I think those are the few DVDs that I'm really kicking myself on. That I should have like.
So a few years ago, so I don't know the guy's name, but a few years ago, someone online went through like every version of Star Wars,
Uh
right?
huh.
Laserdisc, DVD, VHS, and he remastered them all, right? And
Oh,
he edited them to so that they were the despecialized editions.
okay.
So they're the original theatrical versions you saw in 1977, 1980, 1983. And it took him like 5 years or something like that to edit all these together, um, and have them come out as nice as they did. He put them out on Blu-ray, and anyone can get them. He can't sell them, so you can go to a link and like download them and burn them to your own Blu-ray if you want. That's what happened with Kevin and Leo one year for Christmas. Got everyone at Wicked Horror Show like copies of this and sent them to us.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, so I have all three despecialized movies. You know, um, but when I was in this pawn shop, they had that trilogy set. I'm like, okay, cool. Oh, and right next to that, they had The Force Awakens. Okay, cool. Right next to that, they had The Last Jedi. I'm like, cool. So I got these three things, and I walk over to the girl and I to pay for them because I couldn't find anything else. And she goes, if you buy four, instead of them being $3.99 a piece, they're $2.99 a piece.
Oh,
So I got to go back over and look through this rack again, and it's a pretty good rack of Blu-rays. I'm looking, and I finally I found something just to throw it. I haven't watched it yet. Halloween Kills,
okay.
which is the second of the new trilogies of Halloween.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Don't get me wrong, I've seen the movie,
Okay.
but I just haven't watched the Blu-ray of it. Because it was just basically it was a grab. I
Okay.
had to grab it just so I can get the other ones. So I come home and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna start with A New Hope,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna watch all the way because I had the Rise of Skywalker at home.
Okay.
Or no, not the Rise of Skywalker. The Rise of Skywalker. That's the
Yeah.
last one.
Yeah.
I sometimes confuse, but the Last Jedi was brand new,
Brand new.
unopened, and
So
I got it for $3.
I need I you what's funny is that I don't own any Star Wars movies except for I own them digitally just because my dad owns them, but
Right.
I own Solo.
I haven't seen Solo because I couldn't do it. I couldn't watch someone else try to be Harrison Ford.
Yeah, it's a little jarring. The thing is, if it was like, um, I don't know, like, what did you said it in our text where, uh, if someone like killed him and took his name, right? I think that I was talking to somebody about this, and it's like, um, it like the movie would have been a lot better if like he like if like
Oh, right.
um if like the main character ended up getting killed at the end and it's like or something like that and it's just like oh it's like I'll take his name now or something it's
Yeah.
probably like or how that conversation went but I'm like oh that would have been a totally cool way to do that movie like we're being led to believe this is Han Solo but then it's like and then the actual Han Solo is totally somewhere else like
Yeah. I haven't seen that one. So I watched A New Hope, Empire. Actually, I didn't start with A New Hope. I started with Rogue One.
which I think may be one of my top three Star Wars movies.
Yeah, Rogue One, which answers the question: where the hell did the princess get the plans? You know?
Oh, I got like I'm so sorry to keep interrupting you. It's like
No, that's what this thing's for, dude. I mean, it's
me and my dad
so
went and seen like, and I think that's when endings like when that's when like when secrets are kept secret makes the viewing experience 1,000 times.
secret.
Because no one knew it was going to lead into A New Hope like it did. No
Yeah,
one.
I know.
I don't care who you are. Like, yes, we knew. Like, what the gist of the movie was. Yes, they're stealing the plans with the Death Star, but like. We weren't going to be like the final battle of that movie was going to directly lead to Princess
The
Leia's.
begin the beginning of the beginning of A New Hope. I know. That
And
was
I was like, oh, and like no one, like when like there was no survivors. I'm like, I knew everyone's going to die. It was like, okay, I'm like, I knew that, but it's just like, but it's that ending.
I didn't have that. I honestly did not have that uh I didn't foresee that. I didn't foresee everyone dying. I just thought, okay, these are going to be characters that we're going to find out about, and then this is their mission, and that's it.
Uh,
I didn't expect them to all to die, though.
that was the only one. That's the only thing that I called that was correct. Just because, like, I think just because, Grant, like, what's her name, Grand Moth not Tarkin, but Mon Mothra. Uh, she's like, there was no survivors. That's the only reason why I knew. That's the only reason, like, kind of gave me like, oh, I bet no one's going to
Oh,
make it out of this.
okay.
So that was it. Just because it was it was just like a quick one line from New Hope. That's all it was. um, and 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 that was it. But yeah, like, when did you ever see Split with James McAvoy?
With James McAvoy. Yes, love Split.
So I went and seen that in theaters,
So
and
did I.
when, like, so you know the ending of the movie, with Bruce Willis.
Right, where he said, yeah,
It's
he's the character from Unbreakable.
Yeah, and I this is when, like, I this is what makes me so happy to be a film, like, just a film fiend, just someone
Yeah.
who just loves movies and has like a vast, like, I know there's more people who have bigger knowledge of movies than I do, but like I do have a good chunk of knowledge myself, so it's just like, well, I'm just sitting there watching, and there's Bruce Willis, and I immediately just like, yes, I knew
I
exactly
did
what
this. I did the exact same thing,
I'm like.
right? When Split came out, and I'm like, dude, they just connected the universes,
Yeah,
right? And I I hear this girl behind me in the theater go, I don't get it.
yeah,
I'm like, I'm sitting there going, really? You don't get it? And obviously she was there for her boyfriend,
okay.
you know? And she goes, yeah, I don't get it. What's the big deal? And a lot of people were lost because Unbreakable, as good as that movie
Hmm.
was not the big hit that it was. A lot of people discovered it later on DVD,
Right.
and the ones that did discover it liked it, and the ones that didn't discover it and saw Split are going, I don't get it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, oh, my copy's somewhere, but yeah, like I have like the 2 disc
Yeah.
edition somewhere floating around this room. Like I need to go through and like alphabetize this again, because
Oh, yeah, that'll make it a lot easier to find.
but yeah, like that was like those two endings were like, we got a secret, like basically we had a secret sequel, and then and an ending to a movie that just went directly into another movie. I'm just like, I was like, oh man, like that's when.
And then you got the third movie,
Oh, um
Glass.
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 I You know what, I liked that movie. Like I liked how it was like building up towards this big battle at the end, and it didn't happen. I'm like, it was kind of jarring at first, but I'm like, the more I think about it, it's just like yeah, I liked it. It was like it kind of like you needed like, and they all get wiped out, and it's just like it was like, and because they're all like they all get taken out by their own like their weaknesses and everything. I just like that.
Right.
And it's like, and
Yeah.
then another one they've already set up like that um, secret organization, and so like you could start fresh. You know, it's like Bruce. I'm kind of glad Bruce was able to finish this trilogy. You know, despite what's going on with him and everything, and it's like
right.
and
Dude,
and
he retired from like acting like 6 months ago or something like that, and he's dumping out movies left and right. He must have just did a it's like, okay, I know that I'm getting sick or something like that. It's time to
right,
make as many movies as I can, because there's movies coming out with him in it that I haven't even freaking heard of.
same. Like he's on the cover, and just like he had a whole trilogy of movies. Like, and I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, I'm gonna have to look into these.
Yeah, he has like some kind of
Yeah,
Detective Night, I think is what's called.
yeah, something like that. Like, yeah, it's like, man, he's like there. He's like how Nick Cage was there for a while. Um,
Yeah.
like, okay,
Well,
speaking of,
dude, that's like Christopher Walken in the 90s. Christopher Walken in the 90s was the most busy actor in Hollywood.
mm,
He was in everything.
um, what is it? Did you manage to stay spoiler free for this Flash spoiler? I'm not going to say it, but I just want to know if, like, we were talking about Flash.
Oh, yeah. So as far as the ending of Flash goes, I mean,
Oh, no, for the
yeah,
movie.
I state. Oh, I haven't seen the movie.
No, okay. So I'm not going to say it here because I don't want. I got
Oh, you're talking about if I yeah, I'm not gonna see it, so you could just say what you want, dude. I don't care.
okay,
I'm not DC movies suck.
okay. So it got spoiled for me, but because I was reading something totally unrelated to the Flash or something, and they just like here like, and then while scrolling down, it kind of like, oh, blah 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 cameo. I'm like, wait, thanks a lot. So okay, spoilers.
There's a few cameos. There's like Wonder Woman, and then there's like a second Flash cameo,
Right.
and I'm trying to think. I think I know which one you're going to talk about, but I don't remember what it was.
This is the one that this one is more me and your generation of like this is gonna be like, I don't get it, you know, like like
Yeah.
it's gonna hit because of
Oh,
who
I know
they,
what it is. I know what it is. Go ahead.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's gonna hit
Yeah.
differently in you. Um,
Yeah.
Nick Cage as
Nick
Superman.
Cage as Superman,
Yeah. So
because he was supposed to play Superman in a 1990 something movie, Superman Lives,
yeah, direct by,
and yeah, and now he's gonna show up in this.
he finally
I
gets to man. Yeah.
I read something on this, right,
Okay.
and I I was kind of annoyed with the person that wrote the article, because obviously they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
I that annoys me too. I don't like writing about movies is kind of an art in and of itself. You know, it's like you have to like I think that's what really makes me mad when I see like the Rotten Tomato movie reviews, and it's just like it's just one word like it's terrible or blah blah blah. I'm like,
Hey, give me a reason why it's terrible. I don't mind if you tell me it's terrible, but I want a reason why you think it's terrible. You
I
know?
don't I don't want the reason to be terrible. Oh, because my foot sticks to the floor. You know, like those
Yeah,
are. I've actually read those reviews where like I want
yeah.
the movie, but like the movie was all right, but my foot kept sticking to the floor, so I'm like, I'm just going to rate the movie ungodly low for no reason.
I mean, I will honestly say that you and everyone's heard me rant about the hatred I have for the Blair Witch Project.
Oh
But
yes,
I have reasons. I have reasons why I
right.
don't like that movie, and I will go into them. And at length sometimes.
Kind of put it in perspective, like Blair Witch is to you as The Blind Side is to me. You know, I
Oh, dude, I hate that movie.
I don't like. Okay, so I like. It's not nothing against the guy who plays the football player,
Nope,
uh, uh, Sandra Bullock. Who else? Who else is in that movie?
nope.
Um, whoever and whoever and whoever. It has nothing against. It's like I've never really been. That movie is so Oscar baity. It is not even funny. That's why I do not like that movie. Like
Okay, see, I don't like that movie because, and again, just like you, it's not the guy that played, the the character. It's not Sandra Bullock. It's the lie that the movie perpetuates,
oh,
right? Um,
where they just
so so
it
they
didn't
they they say they say they say that, oh well, this guy came to live with Sandra Bullock and her family, and she's the one that taught him how to play football. He was playing football in junior high before he ever met this family.
right.
You know, um, the he wrote a book. The real guy wrote a book on how much of a lie that movie is, and that's my problem with that movie.
Yeah, like that was my problem with it. It was just like I knew exactly what they were doing. And I'm not really that kind of a snob when it comes to movies. Like I like the movie Crash, you know, with all like Matthew Dillon and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I like that movie. So like I'm like I can like they're like and I know what they were doing with that movie too. But it's like if it was done correctly or to a point, you know, like I'm like, yeah, they were just trying to get some awards. Like, who isn't? You know, they were just trying to make their hard work mean
No,
something.
I 100% get what you're saying.
But
And it in some ways it does feel like that.
and Blind Side to me, like I love a good football movie. I mean, I love football movies.
Dude, the best football movie of all time. Go.
I'm gonna have to. Oh man, that's tough. I'm going to. I just recently seen the Burt Reynolds The Longest Yard's going to come out in 4K. So I'm
Okay, that's a good movie.
oh, that's not my favorite, but
But
I
is it the best football movie of all time? Because I'll say no to that.
okay. So my favorite is probably the Replacements with Keanu Reeves.
Ooh, good choice.
That,
I'm still gonna say no.
okay.
I mean, that's a really good choice. Dude, I don't know how many times I watched The Replacements, but my favorite and the best football movie of all time, Rudy.
uh, about Notre Dame.
About Daniel Rudy Rudiger. I mean, honestly, I get choked up every time. I get choked up at the ending of that movie when they sent him in and he tackles the quarterback. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, I don't cry, but every time I get choked up. That's one of my favorite. It's got the best score ever. You
I
know,
I haven't seen that movie in a very very long time.
it's one of
But
those movies, much like My Cousin Vinny. Whenever it's on cable, I'll flip it on and I'll watch
oh
it.
yeah, I love My Cousin Vinny. I like that's one of those. It's yeah, it's like I don't know if you've seen the videos. They're like, oh, I'm just gonna put this movie on for noise, and then 5 minutes later they're watching it. It's like
Yeah.
that's my cousin Vinny because I've seen that movie hundreds of times.
I, I quote that movie, right? And it's like, it's funny because like I'll be in the house and all of a sudden I see that it's on and I'll yell through the house. I'll just yell to someone else in the house. I go, channel 131. I won't tell them what's on. They'll flip it on. They go, oh, But yeah, my favorite line for that whole movie is he's in the cabin
Oh
and the screech owl hits. What the hell was that? He comes. It's this little bitty screech owl. Going,
yeah.
ah! You
Oh,
know.
oh man. I think one of my favorite parts. I love how this turned into My Cousin Vinny. I love this. When they're in the courtroom and
Oh, dude,
when
there's a lot of good scenes in the courtroom.
when I think that like that yeah. when the one of the boys, he has his own lawyer, and then he looks
Oh,
after
the
he
stutterer.
yeah
I
after
want him.
yeah, yes, that's it. That was the line. That's one of my favorites. It's like it's just really cool. And it's like just like football movies, like courtroom movies are like some of my favorites too, because like you have to be a good
And
writer for those scenes.
yeah, and the guy that plays the stuttering lawyer, right, is the
Yeah.
same guy that plays the in-laws in Meet the Parents. When they go over to play, and they go over and they play volleyball in the water,
Oh,
and right, the soon to be father-in-law in that
oh,
family,
I didn't notice that.
and Lane Smith, dude, Lane Smith plays the lawyer that Vinny's going up against, and he played Perry White and Lois and Clark with Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher. You know,
Yeah, and then oh,
the other great scene is where he's like, okay, can you do me a favor? And he hands her the tape measure. And they go all the way back. He goes, okay, this is 50 feet. How many fingers am I holding up? Let the
see,
let the let the court show that he is judge. And then he goes, Mrs. So and so, and only Mrs. So and so. And Fred Gwynn gives the best dirty look.
and like I love that that what that movie is really good is that how he deconstructs each of the witnesses' statements, and
Yeah,
I just like how he's just like, yeah, you're done for. Like, and it's like no one. And I love how like one of the bigger ones is grits. It's like how long it takes to cook
grits.
grits, and I'm just like
5 minutes.
um,
Are you
yeah,
telling me that the
yeah,
laws of physics are
and
different
you're
in your kitchen than
yeah,
anywhere else in the world? I guess I'm just a fast cook.
yeah. So that movie, man. And the thing is, I think Marissa Tomei was good for an Academy Award for that because
Dude, she definitely deserved it.
yeah, like
You
I
know,
know I've read that people don't think she did, but I'm like I think she did because she care like that's what supporting actor is
yeah.
that supposed to be there to kind of help our main actor go and like the moment where she's on the stand and then she has that big revelation is like why like the two tire tracks like and
Yeah.
then she has that big long speech and I'm just like oh that's why she's got it like
Your Honor, let me treat her a hostile witness. You think
uh,
I'm hostile now? Wait till we get back to the. You two know each other.
oh man and I just like how she's smarter than the lack of a better term the tech guy from the actual motor company and everything. It's just like
Well, he's only the thing is that she's smarter than him because she knows general knowledge of cars. The
right.
only thing he knows about is tires
Oh,
because
okay.
he's from Michelin, or whatever, and it's like the other night, I swear, we were watching a movie and they brought up a whole thing of not my cousin Vinny. They go, what kind of tires are on there? And I looked over and I go, probably Michelin XGB size 7514s. Because that's the tire that's in my cousin Vinny. The fact that I know that crap.
Uh, oh, I remember like that. I
ask
think
ask me ask me who the 13th president of the United States was. I couldn't tell you, but I
right.
know how I can quote my cousin Vinny.
Yeah, I think priorities, right?
Yeah, priorities exactly.
But yeah, like like I what was it? I have what there's one obscure line that I absolutely just like. I think I just laughed to myself. I don't care who's listening to me. I just have to say it, and it's like I'll have to try to remember for the next time we do it. It's like I'll have to write me a note. It's like remember obscure line.
Whereabouts is it in the movie?
It's not My Cousin Vinny. It's just kind of like,
Oh,
you just got me thinking. Like if you just like you don't know the 13th president, but I know this obscure line from such and
oh,
such.
right. Yeah, yeah. But
I think it's um, I
it's from Zack and
oh
Mary Make a Porno.
um, Starship Troopers. I'm just constantly being like live fire exercise, just because it's just like it's like some it's just some random line, but it's the way
Yeah.
it's delivered and everything. I'm just like, um, and just sitting there, and whenever someone says like, it's a like live fire range or oh we're going to exercise our right to do this, I'm just like live fire
Live
exercise.
fire exercise. Yeah. Yeah, no, there are lines like that with me too. I just was talking about this the other day. I wish I could remember which one it was because I'm like every time I hear this word, it reminds me of this line, and I don't remember what it was, um, but yeah. So going back to that thing that we were talking about with Nicolas Cage being the
Oh
so the review the thing that I read that made me kind of bummed is that there was a scene they like so the Flash winds up going back in time and he lands in a world where there aren't metahumans like Superman. And I'm like, just a second. Um, Superman is not a metahuman, he's a alien.
right. So yeah.
Metahumans are humans that are born with powers. Aliens are things that from another world.
Oh, like no, like to me that makes a difference, because like if you go into the fact of thinking Superman was man-made,
Yeah.
or made, like instead of actually coming from the stars, um, it really kind of it could skew your view of watching the movie, and then just like um, there's been times where I've read reviews and just like or like read synopsis, and it just utterly drives me up the wall about like
Oh, I know.
how terrible they're like then you go to watch it like this is nothing like what I just thought was going to like what you just told me was about. I'm trying to think, anything else you've been watching.
No, well, I mean, like I said, I've been catching up on a lot of. I mean, a lot of stuff is. I don't know if you watch it, but one of my favorite shows on, it's not just stuff that we have on Blu-ray or DVD, but what's something I actually watch. Chicago Fire.
I don't watch it, but Ariel watches
It
it.
is an awesome show. Oh man, your wife has good taste.
So
Honestly, dude,
I
they show reruns of this show on like Ion TV and like you know, if you get a chance, watch it because from a horror movie, I mean, especially the early stuff,
it's on Peacock, so we can it's all the seasons are on there.
right? So from a horror movie fan, the earlier stuff, there was some pretty brutal stuff that happens,
Oh really?
right? And it's kind of like, yeah, yeah, and you're like, how do they show this on Channel 5 or on NBC? You know, and there's one where a guy gets he's like at a restaurant, and
Mm-hmm.
those giant, you know, dough mixers. His hand is
Okay.
stuck in there. They
Oh.
have to they have to relieve the tension, and then they show it. It's all like this, and you know, a woman is driving. Well, she's not driving. She's in the back seat, but she's like in a cab or something, and
Mm-hmm.
she's doing her makeup, and she's doing a pencil. Penciling. You know, they got to come out there and they show it, man. She's got a pencil
Oh,
sticking out of her eyeball. That's what I'm saying.
that's
From
rough.
that point of, yeah.
Uh,
Then once you start watching, you're like, okay, well, the stories are really cool too.
the thing is, like, I've walked in when I just go in to check on her and everything, and she's crying because the episode's gotten really emotional. This is when she was like pregnant and everything, and just like I don't know why, just, but like I'm like I don't. It's just funny. Like I wasn't expecting her to be crying when I went to go check on her. It's like, oh, like, are you
But
okay? Did something?
Chicago Fire is a really 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 cool show. Honestly, I think you would dig it. And since you can watch all this on Peacock, you know,
I'm
just go just go through them one at a time, man. I mean,
I'm
honestly, give it a chance.
what I don't think that I don't have any TV shows that are new to me that I'm currently watching. Well, like I got The Boys to kind of bring
The
that back around.
Boys. So
Um,
is The Boys okay? The Boys is on Amazon Prime.
right.
Is it available to buy on DVD yet?
Yes, you can buy the first two seasons together
Oh,
on
no.
Blu-ray.
I've already got the first two seasons. I'm talking about the third season.
Oh, I don't think so. Not yet. I don't think so.
Okay.
I haven't heard. I haven't out. That's I usually go to Best Buy every Tuesday just to get out of the house,
Okay.
I haven't seen it. So like I if it was out, I would have seen it.
Got the back door open, and
Oh,
we got a bunch of noisy bird. That's about 50 feet across the room and outside, and you heard that.
you're like, what the hell was that?
Yeah. It sounded like it was in the house with me. I was like, what the hell? Well, that's the
um,
thing. It's like right now it's really quiet in here, and all of a sudden out of nowhere you hear a noise, just kind of like, what the,
oh no, like, oh trust me, like when I lived in an, before I moved up to here, I lived out in the middle of nowhere, and just like it, when it gets quiet, it gets quiet, and then when you hear a noise, it makes a noise. It's like it's
That's when
amplified.
you were. Was that when you were a part of the 2 Ton Nerds?
Yeah, that's when I'm like, yeah,
Okay.
when I'm feeling totally, I'm in a like, yeah, when I was doing the 2 Ton Nerds, and when we first started doing meeting each other and everything was when I was living in that
Yeah.
house.
Okay. Yeah, we've known each other a long time, man.
Yeah, very long time. Like I think this is like I've done like no offense to anyone else who I've done streams with, but it's just like we just like pick it up and we just go right at it. It's just like it's like you can tell that we have like we the longevity of our friendship.
Yeah.
That's and trying to think. There was a movie that I'm like, well, you don't have to reveal anything, but because I think you can probably do a video. But like, how was your halfway to Friday Black Friday sale purchase?
I went a little overboard.
I had
I
at least
honestly,
I had at least 10 titles, and then when I seen the final total, I'm like, ooh, I had to narrow it down to at least two. I just kept adding them. I'm like, oh, I actually had one of the movies that you had bought, and I may go once I get paid. I'll hopefully, um, I'll just go back and buy it. I know it won't be on sale no more, but Blades.
oh, dude, Blades is an awesome movie.
I had it in my cart, but I chose a couple of different other movies. I think I told you. Did I tell you?
No, you didn't. I don't think you told me what the titles were.
Okay, so I bought the Showgirls 4K one just because I just needed some. I just I just need some cheesiness in my movie collection. I just and
There's cheesy, and then there's okay.
well, I have a lot of Paul Verhoeven movies, anyways, so I have to kind of like keep.
Yeah, okay.
And then so this one is a completely blind buy, like how it was with She Killed in Ecstasy. See, I can't even pronounce it still to this day. Blind buy was Undefeatable. I don't know if you saw that on there.
I saw it. That's the Cynthia Rothrock one, right?
Right. And I was looking at I was reading the synopsis. I didn't watch no trailers for it, and they were just talking about how crazy this movie is, and especially for the final fight of the movie. I think it's a boxing movie or something, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Uh See, I could be totally wrong. And I'm like, you know what?
Well, if it's got Cynthia Rothrock in it, honestly, you can't go wrong. She really was the height of like in the late 80s, early 90s. You had Steven Seagal, you had Jean Claude Van Damme, and you had Cynthia Rothrock. but no one talks about Cynthia Rothrock. I mean, she was China O'Brien in 3 movies. You know, um, she was really on top of everything, and then out of nowhere, poof, she was just gone. It was.
Oh,
I don't know what happened. I don't know. I mean, did she piss off the wrong producers? Did did that craze just not stick with her, or what? You know?
um, that's okay. Yeah, that was my 2 titles. Like that's all I could really afford at the time. Even though those 2 titles were expensive, but it was just like, but it's like I, but I know some people spent like, I know from the titles you spent, it told me like, oh, that's gonna be a hefty price, and you're like, I went
It
overboard.
was it was okay. I mean, honestly, I actually spent more on Black Friday than I spent on
Oh,
halfway
really?
to Black Friday sale.
Okay.
Yeah, I was, but I mean, I did the same thing you did. So this is a list
Oh,
of VS titles, right?
okay.
And if you see that there's a price next to it, and then if you see there's a number next to that, I I wanted to go for ones that had like a low number,
Okay.
ones that might be going out of print soon. You know,
Yeah.
because I shot myself in the foot with Vice Squad. I never got a copy of that.
So
Or Vice Academy. I mean,
I did that with I should have bought the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with the slip sleeve and stuff like that. I should have. I'm like, all right, I should have bought it, and I was like, well, maybe I'll just hold out on it until Black Friday, and then sure enough, it was sold out. I'm not losing my. I'm not really kicking myself,
yeah. The
but
thing
I'm
that bugs
like,
me is that with Vice Academy, there was I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, they'll release it in like a standard edition. They never released it in a standard edition, and so I the 2 times I tried to get it, I tried to get it the first time, and it sold out. Right, that was the numbered edition, and then they were like, oh, well, we found copies of we found extra copies of it, and so we're gonna release those, but they're unnumbered or whatever, and I was like, okay, well, I'll get one of those. And I tried doing that. And the thing that sucks with Vinegar Syndrome, which I love Vinegar Syndrome, but the thing that sucks is like, if you put it in your cart, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to get the movie. You
right.
got to actually purchase it first.
You're right.
Because I had it in my cart. Then when I went to check out, they're like, oh, well, we're all out of Vice Academy. I'm like, ah,
Yeah, Wes. Like I was on Wes did a live stream of him purchasing, and he just he made like several transactions just because of that reason. I think
yeah.
because he like so. Um, yeah, I don't own very many Vinegar Syndrome movies, but but this is
Yeah,
like my
you got that one. You got
yeah.
Cloak and Dagger.
I had to get that one. Like my dad showed me this movie, and it's always been kind of like a special place in my heart for just because I like that movie quite a bit.
Yeah.
Um,
So I got 11 movies at a little bit more than 2 bills. You
okay,
know, I mean, it's not terrible. What
and
and
especially
tech?
you went for the lower movies, right? The lower priced movies and
Yeah,
everything.
I went for the lower priced movies, and I
Right.
went without slips. You know, I know that's sacrilegious to some people, but dude, they charge you like an extra $5 sometimes for the slip, and I'm like, if I can just get it for as cheap as I can get it, screw that. You know, I just want the movie. I don't I don't always need a slip. The only slips I mean, I've gotten like blood games. Blood games I got with the slip because the slip, the front and the back of the slip both say blood games on them.
Well, like
And
I'm.
and
Go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead.
No, like
I was gonna say, and the 2 covers that you get with it are completely different than what they look like on the slip. So I'm like, technically, I have 4 covers that I can look at if I want.
right. Like hold on, let's see if this like I have the Arrow version of South Plain Tales. So
Okay.
this is the brand new one, and then that's why I like these movies. And then they have the theatrical one, like the one that looks like this. But like I like when they do that. So
I
it's like,
I like the new cover. I mean, it's yeah, I love reversible covers, and so
yeah,
I got a bunch of stuff, and dude, I finally grabbed two movies. Every time I would do like the halfway to Black Friday sale or the yeah, I like the new cover. Or
yeah,
I do the Black Friday sale. I would
mm-hmm.
always forget to get these like two movies. I'm like, oh my god, I leave and I go, you know. And so I finally the one of them is the House on Tombstone Hill. I've been trying
Okay.
to get that movie for like about 3 years now, and I always forget to purchase it. So I finally remembered to purchase it this time.
Oh,
But
good.
yeah, I was just kind of going through, and I'm like, I want this. I didn't get Evil Maniac. I wanted to get Evil Maniac. I'll get it like in Black Friday because it'll be cheaper then.
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
the reason why I didn't really like go overboard. Is like I'll try and I'll kind of like when I want to see like your haul and everyone else's, and like, oh, maybe that one will be worth a purchase later in the year. Like I'll kind of like let everyone else kind of do the purchasing for me.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's a good way to do it. But there's the Cellar was another one. The
Okay.
Cellar what the Cellar was the second one I've been trying to get for years that I keep forgetting to purchase. But yeah, I mean, on top of that, there's like 9 other movies. Technically, I got 12 movies because Hard Rock Zombies comes with the second movie.
Oh, that's cool.
So I got 12 movies for, you know,
Yeah.
I'm all caught up. Um, so there, I got that. Another thing I got coming up is I got 4 new Fright Rag shirts.
Oh yeah, I forgot about. Yeah, I forgot you told me that. Yeah, I only had enough money to get a couple movies. But I forgot about Fright Rags. Um,
Yeah, they had their spring sale, and I got two. I mean, they had some pretty good prices. I got 2 shirts for $15 and 2 shirts for $25.
oh man, I probably should have checked it out then.
Yeah,
I probably would have like done one movie and a couple T-shirts.
yeah. Well, they were $15 a piece. I'm sorry, I did
Oh
not. They weren't okay. Yeah, they're $15 a piece, but still, you could have got one shirt. Uh, so I got that, and then, oh my God, this whole week has been spending.
oh, I understand that.
Um, uh, Diabolic DVD.
Oh yeah, I got their email just recently.
They were having a sale on Blue Underground. They're still having a sale on Blue Underground, but I'm not doing that. I mean, I've already spent way too much. Um, but they're also having a sale on Vestron,
Okay.
and I
Uh,
don't know if you collect the Vestron stuff.
I think I may have one.
Like,
I think I have one Vestron movie, and it is because it has the silver triangle at the top, right?
yeah, right.
Um, I'll have to look for it, but I think I only have one. I'm not quite sure which one that I have. Uh,
So they're having Vestron titles on sale for $15.99 and cheaper, right?
oh, I would like to pick up because I would like to have their Maximum Overdrive one.
That one's there.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, all the movies are on sale right now,
I might actually
and
scrounge up some money for that one.
and well, what I did was one that I grabbed was the Wishmaster collection, dude.
Oh,
Four Wishmaster movies for $15.99. That's
there you go.
$4 a piece. Silent Night, Deadly Night. That one, yeah, I was gonna grab that, but that one was sold out. But
For $11.
yeah, but if you go to if you look on Amazon at their older titles, like the first few, those ones are expensive, but they were on Diabolic for like half what you could pay for them on
3,
Amazon.
5. I need to get the first
Yeah, that's
one.
3 through 5.
Yeah.
1 and 2 you can get on DVD at one time as a double feature.
Okay.
Because I have it. That's the reason I know that. But yeah. So I got the um, Wishmaster series, which is 4 movies.
That's a
Shopping Mall, which I
oh,
have it on DVD already, but I just wanted the
I
new
I don't own that one, but I would like to own that one. I've seen it, but I would like to own that one.
Chud 2, Chud the Bud. The Gate. I've been
Okay.
wanting to get the Gate forever, but the Gate is like expensive as hell anywhere. And what else? That's 4. There's one more. What is it? I'm blanking on it, but whatever. Well, so I bought all this, right? And then I wound up in Best Buy on Wednesday. And as I'm walking through Best Buy, I see the Dentist collection.
Oh yeah.
And it was like $12. I'm like, I could buy this from Amazon for the exact same price. I'll just since I'm here, I'll grab it. And so I've gotten a few Vestron titles. I'm still waiting for them to come, but yeah.
There's been a few that at Best Buy that I really should have picked up. Shivers.
Shivers is on that list, man. I
Oh,
honestly go to Diabolic and look at the stuff. It's not.
I'm going to
It's
have to now. Like, I did. I don't think I've showed this off yet.
I've never bought from Diabolic before, so this is like a first thing for me.
I've bought one. I think that's how I get their email because I know I bought something from them.
Well, I've signed up for their newsletter, but I've never bought from them.
I know I have. I think what did I buy? I know it was a special edition movie. It had to be because that's the only reason why I bought something from them. I'll have
Oh,
I have to I'll have to
I have to look around and
yeah. I think it might have been something. I don't know what it was. That bothers me now. Um, but yeah. Hopefully, I think next month will be when I watch something my newer movies that I watched. I've had this in my list on my shelf for a while because I picked it up at Best. Speaking of Best Buy, this is what sparked it because I got the whole Paranormal Activity box set.
wow, I didn't even know they put one out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It comes with a Paranormal Activity sticker. I haven't used it yet, but it comes with all the movies in their unrated editions, and plus like a documentary DVD about the whole series and everything. Even has the 3D version of the movie of one of them. So
Huh?
it's a.
Yeah, I never got into the Paranormal Activity movies.
I really liked the first two, and I really wanted to watch the rest. And I had a $5 gift certificate to Best Buy. You know, I spend
There
so
you
many.
go.
I've spent a lot of money there. I get. So I'm like, I just use it to
Right.
pick them.
Yeah, you acquire points. All those points add up, and you get like $5 off or $10 off or whatever. Yeah,
I just used it towards that box set, and it's like okay.
that's not bad. I mean, yeah, I didn't know that they did that, but yeah. So I've got the restaurant stuff coming from Diabolic. I got the halfway stuff coming from Vinegar Syndrome, and the shirts. The weird thing about the shirts. So I ordered the shirts last Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
They came Friday.
Oh, nice.
Dude, they came from New York to Washington State in no time. I
When
mean,
from New York to Washington. Oh wow.
yeah. I think I don't want to show them off. I'm going to show them off in the video. I want you to
Yeah,
see them in the video because
no, no,
I got.
I'm looking forward to that.
So, I mean, I tell you what one of them is. One of them is House by the Cemetery.
Oh, okay.
And I honestly thought, after I bought this, I was like, okay, I could design I could design a shirt for House by the Cemetery. I can't draw worth it, but I could design this shirt, and it's very simple. It's three letters and a question. It's three letters and a question mark. Have you ever seen House by the Cemetery?
No, I think I started it because
Okay.
you didn't you do it for
Yes,
you
I
talk,
did. I did it for Italian Sunday.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then we were talking about it and you were describing it to me and I'm like okay, this may be the wrong movie, but is it about a bunch of kids?
No.
No, okay, then I'm totally thinking of a different movie then.
This one's about a couple that move into a house that's next to a cemetery.
Okay.
And they have a little boy named Bob,
Okay.
right? And this would be so I would say at least 50% of the dialogue in this movie is the parents calling out to the son.
Oh really? Bob.
Because the son's like 3 or 4 years old. He's a little kid, right? And
Okay.
all you hear is Bob, 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 Bob. And so my design for a shirt would just be Bob with a
Oh,
question mark.
that's
And
great.
then right below it, the house by the cemetery.
That's fantastic. That's simple, but only if like probably a handful of people in this entire world would probably know it. At least like no one around here would probably get it. But like
Well, the
if you
hilarious thing is after I got the Lucio Fulci set, right? From Blue Underground a few years ago, and it comes with the house by the cemetery, City of the Living Dead, and it's on my cover for my email. It's the oh my god, the New York Ripper.
okay,
And so we're watching them in order, and so we watch the house by the cemetery, and we hear Bob, 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 and then we put in New York Ripper, and one of the characters' name is Bob, and, and then we put in City of the Living Dead, and one of the characters' names is Robert, which is the formal version of Bob, and I'm like, did Lucio Fulci really think that was like the only Americanized name out there when he wrote these things? Bob, you know? I mean, he at least could put Neil in there somewhere, so you had Neil and Bob.
right? That's hilarious. No, like when a director likes a name, they'll use that name regardless. It's just
Yeah.
Trying to think, um is there any movies that isn't like you're going to like not seek out to watch?
What do you mean? So
Um
is there anything I'm just gonna ignore?
yeah, just movie that just isn't like tickling your fancy.
Well, the new Flash movie looks like crap.
So okay, I was
I
actually
mean, honestly, I've seen the trailer a few times. I'm like, this just looks ugh.
no
And
like
I think it's because I love the TV show so much.
I think no, I understand that. My interest in the movie is not because of the Flash; it's because of Michael Keaton. Because
I'll give you that. I mean,
yes,
so here's the thing: if that movie comes on cable, right?
yeah,
I'll record it and I'll watch it.
yeah.
But I'm not spending a dime to go see this thing. I'm not spending a. It's like when Justice League came out. There's no way in hell you were getting me in the theater to go see that movie.
Well,
Yeah.
the trailer like this one of the newer trailers killed it for me. I was so into this movie. I was like, yes, this looks really good, or at least fun to watch. I should at least put it that way. Not really
Yeah.
good, at least fun to watch because of
Right.
and Supergirl. And,
Not too keen on a dark haired Supergirl, but whatever.
right, yeah, but and just like and then Michael Shannon's back as General Zod. I'm just like, I
Which
don't
makes
know,
some sense because Superman broke his neck in Man of Steel, which
right?
was
So I'm just like,
crap
wow.
too.
tying together. And I'm just like, okay, that has piqued my interest 1000%. But there was a particular shot in the trailer that looked like it was. I've seen video games with better graphics. Okay, like it bothered me. I'm like most of the graphics in the movie were actually not too bad, but this particular shot was just like, no, like it, like I'm not, I'm like, me and you, like we're not like when it comes to special effects and stuff like that, we love our practical, but when we
Right.
know, but we
I,
have
I, I, I can accept digital effects if they're done well.
exactly, and this just like there's this one shot that like of Barry Allen looking up at like something going off in the background, and he looks completely like rubber. Like it looked like
Now I know what you're talking. It looks like '90s graphics,
yes, it literally looks
like Dwayne the Rock Johnson in the Mummy
yeah, or
as the Scorpion King when he was all that scorpion creature thing.
I'm like
That was bad.
I'm thinking like Frost from Blade looks better than this. When he's cut in half um
Oh
and
yeah,
acting
yeah.
like that more better, looks totally more well done than this. I'm just like, he looks like a rubber doll out, and not in the sense of like how fake it looks. It's just like he like his outfit. We know the Flash's outfit.
I hate the look of the Flash outfit in the new movie.
Yeah,
I really do.
it's like
It looks plastic.
yes, that's okay. That's a better like he's like it's red in the daylight and like super daylight, and it just like looks like plastically rubber,
Yeah.
and it really did kill me. Like this movie's been in the works for like 3 years now.
That was my problem. That was honestly my problem with the Reverse Flash in the Flash TV show.
Oh,
Have Cheetah will view and Whoopi.
hey
Um,
Patrick.
yeah, in the TV show, the Reverse Flash, the thing I didn't like was, and I get it, he's trying to be different, but the fact
Hmm.
that his suit was all leather, I was like, and it had this real weird leathery look and texture to it. I was just kind of like, Flash is like wearing like, super spandex or whatever the hell he's wearing,
Yeah,
and the Reverse Flash is from 2049. Eobard's on, and his is
yeah,
leather, and it's like I understand that if you skid right, okay, you won't get road rash, but you're not supposed to be skidding. And it had this really weird smoky effect. Like the upper part was like always dirty, and I didn't understand that either. You're supposed to be the Flash's suit isn't dirty, so
right.
why is? But that was my only problem with like the Reverse Flashes, But I get what you're saying, you
But yeah,
know. Oh,
it,
by the way, have you seen the Fablemans?
no, I want to though.
Okay, I just saw it. I just saw it 2 nights ago.
Is it good?
It's good.
Oh,
It's
good.
really, really good.
I heard it's fantastic, and I just want to like I it I
It's
yeah.
on it's on Showtime right now, so you should be able
Oh,
to.
I don't have Showtime. That's the one I don't have.
No. But I'm just saying, if do you have Paramount Plus?
Yes.
Well, okay, Showtime, Paramount Plus, or
Well, since we don't have it's locked out for some reason, because I don't think it's not it's because we only have, I think we're only paying for one of the two.
okay. Well, but check there. You never know. They might be playing that movie on there anyways. So
Because I'll definitely look. Let me jump to the front of the list, honestly, because I love Spielberg movies, and
I I like Spielberg movies. What I don't like is like, I think Spielberg makes better movies when he writes his own stuff,
like he
right?
wrote, right.
he wrote this. This is about him. So
Yeah,
from what I understand, this is his story. When he was a kid, he had an uncle that used to take him to the theater, and he got him hooked
yeah,
on making movies. And in this movie, it's not so much an uncle. His parents take him to see the movie The Greatest Show on Earth
right.
with Jimmy Stewart, which isn't, if you haven't seen that movie,
I think I've seen.
definitely worth. Yeah, it's an awesome. Yeah,
I'm,
that's right. Your dad raised you right, if I remember right, because you know all the
yeah.
You're younger than me, and you know all the classics, so that's cool.
So see, that's probably where other people may have. Like my knowledge is towards that era as well because I've
Yeah,
seen the movies. I've seen the older black and white movies because of my dad and a lot of the westerns and stuff like that because that's
right.
how I was that's how I like because my dad would constantly watch
Yeah,
TCM and
your dad raised you like my mom raised me. She raised me on all the black and white stuff, and well, at the time, I mean, that's all it was on like regular TV, and
as
but
much as I horror movies and stuff like that, like I have a little bit more of a thing for the older black and white movies, and so it's
no,
like
I agree. It's like I love horror movies, but I love my classic films. I love
yeah,
Casablanca and Treasure of the Sierra Madre and
like
Rio Lobo.
like what was it? I've what was movies I watched? Oh, there was a couple of instances where I just got entranced watching Key Largo. I love that movie.
Dude. Okay, if you can find it, because it's really worth getting. There is the Humphrey Bogart Lauren Bacall 4-pack. You can get. I bought it off of Amazon. And you got Key Largo, The Big Sleep, to have and to have not, and the other one, which I can't think of right now.
Um,
But
the,
it's it's
is,
worth grabbing.
is it the man with the golden arm?
No. These are all that's Sinatra.
Sinatra. Okay, sorry. My dad has a lot of. That's how I watched a lot of these because he bought all those and
Yeah,
I just watch them. And so
it's the four movies that Bogey and Bacall made together. You know,
my dad
and
had.
it's a really cool collection to have.
Um, what
But
was
yeah,
the
the
sorry?
Fablemans is awesome.
Oh,
So yeah,
speaking of
so
uh,
huh?
speaking of Spielberg, that I'm not interested in that like my like the movie I'm not looking forward to, and I hate to say it, I'm not looking forward to the new Indiana Jones movie.
I want to see it. I do. Well,
I do.
here's the thing. Here's the thing that bugs me about that is that everyone gives Spielberg the notoriety
Mm-hmm.
for creating Indiana Jones, and he didn't. You know who did?
Lucas, right?
Lucas.
Yep.
Lucas. And I was just listening to the radio the other day. Before I had on Fridays I go out on it in the early in the morning. I'll listen to the radio, and they always have this little crew. They talk about movies and sports and whatnot, and they have like a little trivia thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the head guy, BJ Shea, he he's like they were talking. He's a big science, he's science fiction geek, like
Oh,
we are, horror geeks. He's a big science fiction geek, and he was talking about Natalie Portman wanting to, it's like, so someone asked Natalie Portman if she'd ever want to be back in the Star Wars, universe, and she
I think
said she's not opposed to it. And then BJ goes, but she died. How are they going to, they killed her off in this movie. He goes, that's kind of stupid. And he goes, then he starts ranting about, he goes, the prequels aren't bad movies. He goes, George Lucas shouldn't be allowed to write dialogue because he's terrible at dialogue. And I'm like, dude, you do realize that the first Star Wars movie was written by George Lucas.
mm-hmm.
The first Indiana Jones movie was written by Lucas. I mean, you can't tell me he has terrible dialogue when two of the biggest movies of all time
Did he
were written by him.
did he write American Graffiti as well?
He directed it. I don't know if I know it was his idea, but I don't know if he wrote it.
Okay, I couldn't remember. I was the only one I.
Right. But yeah, that's another big movie of his. It's like, and everyone gives Spielberg the nod as like, well, you know, Spielberg's the one that did all the Indiana. I'm like, yeah, Spielberg did Indiana Jones because Lucas talked him into it. If you ever hear the story, Lucas says, and it's on one of the DVDs for like the Indiana Jones movies. He's talking about how it came about, and it's like one day I get a call from Steven and we're talking, and Steven Spielberg says, my next movie is going to be a James Bond film, you know? And he's like, and Lucas goes, no, don't do that. He goes, I have something better,
Yeah.
something that's going to be even more fun than that. And he says, I have no idea. I didn't tell him what it was going to be. And then I sent him the script for Raiders of the Lost Ark. And he's like, I'm on board.
Yeah. Like, yeah, Lucas definitely doesn't get enough credit where it should count, I should say. Like, I know he he, what was it? Because what was it? They're like, in New Hope, you know, it's like, that's no moon, that's a Death Star. I mean, like, like who, like someone, that's a very quotable line, and like,
Yeah.
so he knows how to write. I really like he does.
And
And
the funny thing is, if you look at Star Wars, I mean, I'm not crapping on Lucas because I love the man, and I think
yeah,
he. But if you look at Star Wars, if you look at A New Hope, Empire, and Return, he basically just took Shakespeare and rewrote it.
mm,
You know,
like that, like no, I'm not complaining with it, or I won't. I'll never like
I mean, to me, that's I always thought that I was like, oh, he just took like these classic Shakespeare movies, Shakespeare plays, and made them more palatable to a science fiction. You know,
like with how they did with Oh Brother Where Art Thou. They made Homer's Odyssey into more of a enjoyable movie that like people were like, I mean, even though the Odyssey would be a pretty cool movie, but
but it might get lost on a lot of people.
right, and then if you know it, watching Oh Brother Where Art Thou, like, oh, there's the Cyclops and there's the
Right.
sirens and or the suitor, you know, the like like that, like it's like it's I like when they you can reimagine. That's when the term reimagining or the like kind of like really works in that favor. Like, oh, there it can work in the right hands, you know.
And
But
those were that was the Coen brothers, right?
yes,
Yeah. And
uh,
the Coen brothers, honestly, I mean, next to Lucas, they don't do bad movies, you know.
I,
I mean, there might be not be things that have, you know,
I think
uh, I've cared for, but I mean, it doesn't mean that they're bad movies. It just means it didn't click with me.
like the one that I really like um right, I even though I liked what was it? Is it Hail Caesar? Caesar? The
Hail Caesar
that,
was a good movie, yeah.
I liked it, but I'm like, but the one I would put over that movie, and not a lot of people like the movie, and I know it's a remake. Is I liked Lady Killers. Um, I like that one a lot.
That's Lady Killers. Now that's
Tom Hanks, where
okay.
they're trying to break into the casino and everything,
Right, okay.
and each
For
member
some
dying.
reason, I had uh, the Sigourney Weaver movie in my head, where her and uh, Jennifer Love Hewitt were
Oh,
con artists,
Heartbreakers.
heartbreakers, lady killers, heartbreakers.
Uh,
My favorite Coen Brothers movie, though. I mean, honestly, it's there's two that tie for number one.
so like Lady Killers is a favorite, but I like it's not my favorite. But I want
Okay,
okay. I want to know what yours is.
well, Fargo
Okay, that's
and Blood Simple.
okay. Mine's Barton Fink. Mine, as much as I like
Okay,
Lebowski and stuff like that, but I think Barton Fink is a better movie.
I never understood the love for the Big Lebowski. I've seen the movie and I'm just kind of like, again, it's one of those ones that I don't hate it. It just never clicked with me.
I know, I understand.
You
No,
know?
like, Dad's kind of the same way. He just like, I think when it comes to that one, because I think he likes Raising Arizona. I love Raising Arizona, but I just think I don't know why. I think it's just because it's I don't I really don't know why Big Lebowski is the way it is. I can't really describe it, but
I know that's the way a lot of people are. They're like, I just like it. It's just that, you know.
that's all you
And
need.
I'm just kind of like, yeah. I mean, I love Fargo. I honestly, Fargo is one of the most quirky, weirdest movies ever. You know.
But like,
Um,
but well, but my second favorite is No Country for Old Men. Like,
oh, that's right. They did do that. I see. They go way off. They go way off the reservation
like
sometimes because yeah.
I got to see that.
Um,
I went to the movies and saw that twice. That's how
I saw that movie in the theater. Yeah.
that's how much I liked it. I went and seen it with my friend. So I watched it with two different people, and that just kind of I watched it with someone who doesn't normally watch those movies, and I watched a movie, and I watched it with my dad. So I got two
So
different. I watched it with I
so
got responses at the end.
yeah. So Paul Dano, who is in No Country for Old Men, plays plays the father of the Spielberg character in The Fabelmans.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Oh,
dude, the cast, the cast of The Fabelmans is crazy.
that's Seth.
Michelle Williams, Paul Dano, Seth Rogen, who is
Yeah,
unrecognizable.
I heard that.
His hair is all cropped, all super short, and I mean, at first I'm going, God, he looks familiar. God, and he's talking. I go, oh, it's Seth Rogen. You know, all of a sudden it clicked. But yeah, I mean, just that right there: Seth Rogen, Michelle Williams, Paul Dano. Um, that's an awesome cast. That's again. And have you seen five? Have you seen 5/25/77?
Uh, five. Oh, it's about the Star Wars movie, right?
It's more than that. It's about a kid that wants to make
No,
movies.
no, no.
That
Oh, I have it. That's why I was just making sure that's because the
yeah.
date. Like my mind immediately went to the Stephen King one for some reason. It was just like that's 63.
Oh
It was just like is that? I had to like my mind.
yeah. That's 11/22/63.
Yeah, I had to like organize the word or the numbers correctly in my head. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I like the movie. I thought that movie was a lot of fun.
Dude, it took like 12 years for them to make that movie.
Right, and I loved it because I loved the special effects in that movie. Like
Yeah.
that makes
I I like these movies about people that try to make, I mean, even if it's even if it's nothing, you know, it's like I like that kind of like
Mhm,
story. And Greg Lamberson, who made Slime City and Slime City Massacre,
mhm.
um, Killer Rack, you know,
Oh,
I'm
and
I'm friends with him on Facebook, and every now and then he'll he'll write something. And like the other day, he goes, oh, this is a good movie. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I go, have you seen 5/25/77? He goes, I'm glad that somebody knows about this movie because I got the chance to introduce it at this film festival and blah blah blah. And he's telling me all about it. I'm like, it's great to have an inside track.
well, me and my dad know about it because he listens to science fiction podcasts, and then
Oh
and I know about it because I just it's Star Wars kind of like esque because of the date of it all,
yeah.
and so me and him talk about it, and so yeah, it's like what was um I just had it in my head. There was a movie that when you were said when you were talking about some um to go back to the title of the movie or episode, I watched the remake for Slumber Party Massacre.
Haven't seen it yet, but how was it?
Okay, so um, I loved it because
Okay.
I've seen the original, and
Right. I love that. That's an all-time favorite horror film for me. So
but I liked what they did with this because they flipped the the roles. They made the men be the girls, and the
oh, okay. Okay.
and
Yeah, I see it.
and all the men are like so paranoid, and they you know that opening shot of the movie, right, of the original, where it's
Yeah.
like this the pan across the shower and everything,
Right.
and so like they have like one of those very gratuitous butt shots, but it's for men, and it's just like this is hilarious. If you know the original, you know why it's funny, and and like the men are having pillow fights and stuff like that. It's just and the women are just looking in the window, oogling them, and it's just like and it's has the it's just funny to see it reverse like that, and it's
It,
shot really well. It has like very good special effects, has some really cool
okay.
Easter
I've been
eggs.
wanting to see it.
I recommend it. I like if
I have been wanting to see it. We had the guys I mean, back when I was doing Wicked Horror Show, we had the guys that shot that movie, and we talked to them about it. And at the time, um, it had just debuted like on the Sci-Fi Channel,
okay.
and something like that. And I had not watched it. And I was like, ever since then, I've been trying to catch up and be able to see it. And I remember I go, didn't this? I said to them, I go, didn't this just debut on the Sci-Fi Channel? And they go, so about that, they, you know, I guess they got a debut everywhere. It debuted not just on there, but on a few platforms. And it just so happens that they didn't want someone to go, oh, it's a Sci-Fi Channel movie, so that's why they were,
I watched it on Shutter.
That's cool. Yeah, that's one that I definitely want to check out.
Yeah. Um, I'm trying to think what else.
Well, the cool
Here,
thing about that is that the original, the three Slumber Party Massacre movies, right? So back in the 80s, people, including the two idiots from Siskel and Ebert, were always bashing horror because
yeah,
it was a degradation against women. They're like, oh, they're just getting them out there to kill women, and these movies are mean, and they're mean towards women. The original three Slumber Party Massacre films were written and directed by women.
I think the new is the new one directed by a woman too.
I'm not. I'm not sure.
I it seems like it. I think it is. I could totally be
It probably is. It
I
probably is.
it, I could be totally wrong on that one, but yeah, like it's like when you like that just tells you how blindsided that they are, or like tunnel vision when it comes to horror movies. Like
Oh,
there
they
are
hated horror.
yeah, no, they call them dead teenager movies or something like that, or
Something like that. Yeah.
like unless it was just like yeah, like I liked watching their from the balcony, whatever it's called.
Yeah. At
Uh,
the movies.
yeah, the movies, yeah. But it's just like um but I'm like, yeah, I don't agree with a lot of their
I tended it's really weird because half the time I tended to agree with one of them, and then the other half of the time I agreed with the other.
yeah.
But about different things. But and then there's other times I'm just kind of like, dude, you guys are missing the mark. You
Um
know, you're not getting it. Horror is not supposed to be serious. I mean, it's serious. It's supposed to be serious to where it freaks you out, but it's not supposed to be serious to where you're. These are guys that like to watch like existential. So you understand what the show means in this scene. It means that they're foretelling the future of their deaths. It's like, dude, it's a horror film. It's not supposed to be that. You're overthinking it.
right.
It's not a Fellini film.
So I'm hearing about like a couple minutes. I'll have to go.
Well, we should probably be wrapping this up anyway. So
Right. We're going on 2 hours, so like I wasn't expecting to do it, but I just like we just kept going. I loved it. Um, is there any what stood out that you've watched this month, or this like or as of like what?
the boys really stood out, man. As far as series goes, the boys. As far as movies go, I mean, like I said, it might be because it's just so fresh in my head right now. But The Fablemans was just,
Okay, I'll have to check that one
and
out for sure.
it's like 2 hours plus, but
That's
that
nothing.
movie just clicks right by. You know, Paul Dano plays the father of the Spielberg like character, and he is not supportive of all. I mean, he's supportive of his son's hobby, but the
Uh,
minute he wants to turn his hobby into something else, his father's like, "Dude, you need to do something," because his father is an inventor. You know,
okay.
he's he's created. You know, he's helped create computers back in the 50s. You know, and and so he sees things in a linear motion. It's like, well, look, if you could build a better hammer, build a better hammer. We don't need movies.
Yeah.
You know, if you could build a projector that's better than the projectors that they're using, okay. But you know that but he'll go to his son makes these movies, and he'll go to the movies and he'll watch them and he'll be like, that's really a cool idea. That I like how you did this. But the minute he wants to go into like art school or something like that, he's like, why don't you do something practical? You
So
know?
like, that kind of that's why I really like the first handful of seasons of the Goldbergs is like the younger son who was really into making movies and everything, and it like I like that aspect of it all. I mean, like I like other aspects of the show too, but I really
I,
like.
I I have caught reruns of the Goldbergs on TV. Like it's like because I hear what a great show it is, and I've watched got at least a dozen episodes. I've never laughed.
Oh
I've
really?
never laughed at this show. And I'm going, I don't get it. I go, I understand that there are these quirky characters, but it's not funny. And all the comedy on that show to me feels forced.
How how old were the kids on the episodes you've watched? Like were they on the younger side or the older side?
Yeah, they were on the younger side. That's what I'm saying. It's like back when
No, no, no.
I think
Like
I
there's
think
a
Adam's like the first. He's like, I'm going to be a freshman in high school. You know, I think part of my problem is that the fact that they're always trying to misinform you on what year it is,
yeah.
right?
No,
They're
no,
like the year is 1980 something, you
yeah,
know, and so all of a sudden he's like, well, I'm on. He goes to a party. He's dressed as a Ghostbuster. It's like, okay, so it's 1984 because Ghostbusters came out. That's fresh in his head, right? And then like the next episode, he's still in the same grade, and now his grandfather's talking about when
Robo.
Harry met Sally,
Yeah,
you
or
know, and I'm like,
I get that.
that
Yeah,
that, that came out in 1989. That's like 5 years later, and you're still the same age. What?
yeah. I think that,
See,
like you said.
that's where that kind of stuff ruins it for me because that was my decade.
Oh no, I get that. I when you know when the year the movie came out and they're like goofing off with the timeline, it's like it's kind of like like I'm trying to think. There was what stood out for me.
And I don't try to do that. It's just the fact that that was my
Oh
decade when I was,
no,
and so I saw, they're referencing all these movies. I'm like, I saw all these movies in the theater. I know when these movies came out. I know how old I was when I saw these.
uh, like when they like yeah, like I like when they would talk when I see a lot of these like movie review shows and everything, and they're like people who clearly have never seen this movie, um, but they're just now discovering it. I'm like, I'm not complaining about that part. And it's just like you
Right.
got these movies had to have experienced them during the time period it came out in, because it makes more sense. It has a little bit more of a like um a little bit more of a,
Relevance.
yeah, like I'm trying to think of a movie that really like well, we'll just use Star Wars. Like uh Star Wars back then isn't Star Wars today. You know, it's totally a different experience of watching
Well, today it's
movies.
a brand. Back then it was just a movie.
Exactly. So it's like that's two different experiences. Oh, okay. Um, well, when I was talking about No Country for Old Men, I watched it with someone who doesn't normally watch those movies, and when the movie, you know how the movie just abruptly ends, you know, it just,
Right.
and then I watched it with my dad. Like, nothing against my friend who I watched it with, because it just like um he just didn't like it, or he didn't get it, and but I got it. And then when me and my dad talking about it, and we're like, yeah, we know who the main character was. The main character was Tommy Lee Jones the entire time of the movie, even though Josh Brolin was the forefront. But it was about the world changing around the sheriff. You know, it was like,
Right.
yeah. So and it was just like, and so it's like, you just, the experience of it all is like, just I don't know where I'm going with this. But anyways, I'm trying to think what I've watched lately. I was trying, so I'm stalling for time because I can't all I've watched was Marvel movies, and I was trying to think if I've watched anything outside of the realm of Marvel. um I think I only watched one movie, and I cannot think of it. And that's what Stan and
No, that's I get that, man. I mean, you watch so I do the same thing. I watch so much stuff. It's like we're supposed to be talking about what we've been watching. I've watched so much stuff since we've done our last episode
well,
that you just kind of like go, I'm on like multi fry. You know, it's like there's a lot of crap. I could go down to the doom room and pull out the stuff, and but it's just kind of like going, yeah,
I've
okay.
watched Cocaine Bear. I've seen what else? I've seen a few other newer movies, um, but it just like what really stood out. Like Cocaine Bear was a fun watch, but it like I think it was a one and done kind of movie for me. Um, but it I then I just went and gravitated back to watching movies that I've seen 1,000 times before. Like I've watched
Yeah, I'm
the Clerks 3 like four times just because I like the
dude.
opening.
That's a good movie.
Clerks 3.
I finally saw Clerks 3. That's a I swear. I mean, I know you love Kevin Smith and I love Kevin Smith, but it I don't I mean, he's never done a well, I was gonna say he's never done a real terrible movie, but Cop Out wasn't great. I know you like it. Um
So okay, I like it on the sense that the DVD makes it better. I have it on
yeah,
DVD because it has the maximum movie mode where if you don't know what that is, if you don't own Blu-rays, or like, what's that? You know, it's like where the director will actually pop into the movie like and break down the scene and everything,
right.
and that's what makes that movie much better is when Kevin Smith starts kind of poking fun at the movie while you're watching the movie. And so um
I do love Kevin Smith movies though, man. I mean, just to see him I love when he like pops up on like a talk show out of nowhere. You're like, oh, he doesn't have anything to talk. He's not doing anything, but he just figured, oh, you know what? I'm in town. I'll go see Jimmy Fallon. You know, I don't know. Next thing you know, they're talking about like anything. You know,
uh, I'm trying
what do I
really,
have?
really, I'm like trying to like I'm just trying to like maybe something will spark like, oh yeah, I watched that. But no, it's literally, I didn't watch that. I watched
I
Spider-Man.
watch
No,
Marvel.
I watched
Watch Marvel
Spider-
movies.
no. It's just like
Tw- tw- 24 plus fucking Marvel movies plus the TV shows.
oh, I know what I watched for the first time. I really liked it. I watched Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, her movie.
That's a good movie.
I watched it for the first time, and I'm just like, this movie is hilarious. Like
And
it's
that's what
fun,
it's supposed to be.
like
Yeah,
I
it's all tongue in cheek.
yeah, and I love Cassandra Peterson, right? I can't think. Right? Am I saying her name? Elvira.
Yeah, Cassandra
Yeah,
Peterson as Elvira.
yeah. Oh, sorry. I was second guessing myself for a second. I was watching it and just like because I'm reading her book too at the moment.
So you know that part of her body is like heavily burned.
Yes, I knew that. I just read that part of the movie, the book,
Yeah.
and it's like her talking about how like her dad was like the way her dad like took care of her during that time. It was just like that's a dad right there. That's super dad right there. Like
Yeah.
staying up sure she's breathing and everything. Um trying to think. I have a bunch of movies in my collection I have not seen or uh
So do I.
like I've had it since it came out and I still haven't watched it. It's only unwrapped because I did an unboxing, but
it's TCM though, man. I mean,
right. I need to watch this. What other movies? I have Dawn of the Dead. I've yet to watch that.
have you ever seen that Dawn of the Dead?
No, like in 4K. I bought the 4K
No, but
edition.
have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that movie though?
Yes, I have. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because it finally released the unrated cut in the with a better transfer and everything. Um, what other movies? Trying to think. There's one other one floating. It's floating around this house. I've lost. I think it's upstairs. Or maybe it's actually in front of me. Oh yeah, it is. I've bought the. Speaking of some like Ray Stevenson, he just passed
Yeah,
away.
he just passed away. Yeah.
So I bought that a while back. There, I have where is the I have a movie floating around this house that hasn't been opened, and I'm just like,
Well, then it should be easy to find if it's floating around the house.
no, I think moved from one room to another. I think it's
No,
slowly making.
I know what you mean.
Oh, it's slowly making its way down to. Oh, like the Silent Deadly Night movies. I've yet to watch those. Since I bought them, and those have been out for a while. But my biggest offense, I think, is because I spent a lot of money on these, is I have yet to watch these.
Oh, yeah, I still need to get that too.
Yeah, I'm hoping Volume 2 goes down in price. That's so I can have them both.
Well, see, it's like they have the Forgotten Giallo films, right? And the first three are in standard. You could buy them in a standard case. I don't need the box. I mean, but now the 4 and 5, they haven't put them in standard cases yet, so I haven't bought them yet. I'm not pulling the trigger until I get them in.
Yeah,
but we should probably wrap up.
Yeah, I should probably. Ariel's probably wondering where I'm at because I have to go get food. I'm making French dips today for lunch. So, and I'm gonna be on baby duty here in a little bit.
The little man.
Yep, he's getting big.
The big little man.
Yeah, he's my super baby. So.
Next thing you know, he'll be putting you in a figure 4 leg lock.
Oh, like he's Like, oh, I know. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be chasing him around the house and like, get back here. I'll be like, let me put you in the full
Daddy,
now to hold you still. It's like I'll hold him
look
and
at
you
my
put.
look at my swanton bomb.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's gonna happen. Me and Ariel's gonna be sleeping. We're all gonna be good, peaceful in the house, and it's like we're gonna hear 5-star frog splash, and so yeah. What I know we talked a lot about what we didn't watch, so, but yeah, like
No,
hopefully,
we talked about I watched Star Wars. You watched Marvel. I watched it. I mean,
uh, hopefully,
we'll do it again, and we'll
oh
get
yeah, for
everyone
sure.
caught up on what we're watching.
Hopefully, we'll catch up on some newer movies. That's my
Well,
goal
I told
for.
you about check out the
Yes, I
Fablemans.
will.
I mean,
I think that's my goal for next month. I'm going to stop once
yeah.
May's over on Marvel. I'm just trying to see how far I can make it. And then was it May? And then June I will be like straight new movies. So I'm just trying to see how far I can.
How much do you have left of the Marvel stuff?
Marvel stuff. I have the what if, like the cartoon. I have
Okay.
WandaVision, Falcon, and Winter Soldier. Those are the three shows. Then I got then I go back into then I think that's the end of the phase that I'm on.
Okay.
Then I go into No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, um, Thor 4, um, The Eternals, Shang-Chi, Ant-Man, and then I have the Hulk, She-Hulk. I have quite a bit, and Hawkeye, Moon Knight, and Miss Marvel.
In Wakanda Forever.
Oh, Wakanda Forever, yeah.
So you got 10 things. And I mean, half of those are movies, and you should be able to knock those out within the next few days. I mean, you got 3 days to do it.
If I can do the movie, I'm watching them in order, so that was my
Yeah.
goal. But like, I may just stick to them. I'll try to get through Loki since I already started it, and then I really don't want to rewatch a few of these shows again. So I'm like, I'll just stick to the movie. Like Eternals, so they haven't really referenced that in any of the shows, so I could just like watch the Eternals, and then
It's a good one. It really is.
I liked Eternals. So
Yeah.
alrighty, I think that's it for the day.
Yep.
Where they if where I want
Where can people find me? Is that what you're trying to say?
yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, you can catch me on YouTube, the 13th Wolfman, Twitter at YouTube, the 13th Wolfman, Twitter at the 13th Wolfman, Tumblr, 13th Wolfman. Man, I haven't done this in a while. I'm losing I used to have a whole spiel.
Little out of practice.
Yeah, a little out of practice. I need to start recording again. So
Same.
yeah, I've got a few. I got a few things coming in. You know, like I said, Vestron's coming in, Venus Syndrome's coming in, Fright Rags are here. So I'm probably going to shoot a few videos for those. What about yourself?
Me, I'm everywhere at the one and only MSJ. Pretty easy. it, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I think I have one other. Um, where is this place? I have one other place that it's just like it's
Well, YouTube, of course.
yeah, YouTube. So everywhere at the one and only MSJ, Max for short.
All
um,
right.
and I'm going to end this as I want to thank Wes. I am the Ice Lord. Alex from Trash Film and Patrick. Cheetah will have you all for stopping by and saying hello.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
yeah, thank you all for just coming by and saying hello. Really means a lot to us. So I am the one and only MSJ, Max for short, and we're going to go geek out.
That's right.